Welcome to the Indie PPC podcast. I am your host, Joey Bidner, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about getting fired. I want to share some stories of times that I got fired from managing a client's account. I think it's important to talk about this for a few reasons, primarily just because our environment of paid media, especially on social media, is so filled with just constant success, constant up and up, constant knowing everything. And I, to be honest, just kind of want to share about situations where I made mistakes. I think it's important to share these to just kind of relate on the human level that even the most professional ads managers make mistakes. And this is kind of speaking to all of those feeling that level of imposter syndrome. So it's just to kind of, come down to earth a little bit that none of us are messiahs of the Google Ads space. All we're doing is applying what we know and trying things out. And sometimes mistakes happen and sometimes we get fired, and that's okay. And I want to also talk about this because the feelings that come after we get fired can be pivotal ones in the case where they can shift how we approach other accounts. They can shift just how we feel about our current position in the space as ads managers. So I kind of just want to share my experience about, I'm going to share specific situations of when I got fired, but then also how I felt afterwards and how I currently feel afterwards when I get fired and how I deal with that situation to move forward and still better myself from the perspective of learning as an ad manager. So I guess I want to start with a client that I'd managed a couple years ago, and this was a really big client. Like, they had upwards of 1,100 stores nationwide. They were a very big retailer. Okay, now I was managing them through another agency. We call this white labeling, right? Where another agency brings you in to manage the account. Now, usually white labeling can go a couple ways. And maybe one day I'll do an episode on this because it's a territory that requires a little bit of nuance in how you approach it if you want to white label. But often white labeling occurs in the case where you're not meeting with the client. You're just kind of doing stuff in the background. But in this case, I was meeting with the client twice a week. It was a very heavily monitored account that had, a team of people. And it was one of those situations where, I'll be honest, I never really like being in, where you're kind of more seen as a button pusher. There's more than one person making decisions, which is the first red flag of any account, right? Like, usually, one of my criteria is I'm managing the account, no other cooks in the kitchen. That's how you can keep a strategy moving forward. But in this case, many people in the account. Now, but that's besides the point. That's not why I got fired. This was an account that, again, they spent upwards of $1 million a month. So it was very heavily monitored, and they constantly had things they wanted done that it was my job to get those things done. So management is more or less coming from the top down as opposed to management necessarily coming from me, though I did still steer the ship and told them what was bad ideas and good ideas. A lot of it was just me doing the things I wanted to do. And I'll never forget this. I was actually on holiday in Colombia with my wife and her family for her brother's wedding. And I guess made the first mistake of not setting boundaries of, I'm on vacation. I kind of always pride myself, and this is maybe a fault of my own, of more or less always being on. Because for the most part, I've always been able to really manage it. But in this case, that came to bite me in the ass, where I was on this holiday and they were making all these requests, and I was still, doing my thing, managing the account. And there was this one request they made where they wanted to create some zip code exclusions for this geo test. It was kind of a dumb idea because it was these micro geos in other geos they wanted to exclude. and it was like zip code exclusions. Anyways, but when I read the email, I misread it, and I saw it as these zip codes are the inclusions and everything else is the exclusion. So I straight up just made a mistake where I saw the exclusions as inclusions and ran the ads to the areas that they wanted no ads running. And, I had been managing the account for them super successfully for over a year. And this was the one mistake that they said, like they fired me for it. They actually tried to sue me for it. They tried to sue me for the spend that was in these areas. It was only for, I think it was only for a couple days, actually. It was caught pretty quickly. But, I think we spent like $12,000. Again, on a $1 million a month spend, we spent $12,000 in these geos that they didn't want spent on, and they tried to come after me for it. But long story short, I made a mistake and got fired. Now, the mistake was, I think the root of the mistake was not setting boundaries for myself to actually go on vacation. I feel like if I was at home in my environment, I likely wouldn't have made that mistake, but I made it and I had to own up to it. And that's the first important part I want to mention when you make a mistake. Okay. Now in this case, they caught it before I did. And I just owned up to it and I just said, yeah, like absolutely, that was a mistake. I didn't try to bury the mistake. Now, sometimes you'll make mistakes where you catch it before the client, right? And I think it's important to bring those up as well. Because what you don't ever want to do is be in the situation where you're caught trying to hide a mistake. Now, I've always been very honest about those situations. And that's just one thing I want to mention. If you ever make a mistake, I personally think it's important to be transparent about them and be the first to bring it up, because clients, you are managing an account because they trust you, right? Trust is our currency. So I just want to say, when it comes to making mistakes, the best thing we can do is straight up just own up to them, whether they're caught before you are or you're caught before them. And if they fire you, they fire you. I think that's an important thing to recognize, that we can't necessarily always salvage a situation. And sometimes being cut loose from an account is a blessing in disguise. This client was extremely high maintenance. It was a client that I didn't even really like managing. I just did it because it was, relatively early in my freelance practice. I had just moved to a new country, and it was an account that really just helped get me off the ground. So it served its purpose. And when that time came, when, I made the mistake and I got fired, I just accepted it and said, you know what, it was a great run, and I had confidence that I did great stuff for them. Like, I really lifted that account and educated their whole team. And I took a lot of pride in that. And I think that's an important thing to do, is don't necessarily measure yourself by your failures. You have to consider the successes that you had. And we all have failures. We all make mistakes. And I just think it's important, again, especially in today's environment, where on all of these podcasts and posts, everyone's always sharing their success stories. But, it's kind of like the Instagram influencer situation, where you only see the best parts of people's lives, and we can easily become depressed looking at everyone else's success when maybe you're looking at your accounts and they're struggling, right? And I think it's important as ads managers to recognize that, poor performance or mistakes or whatever, it's kind of part of the journey, and it's about how we deal with that and still hold confidence in our ability, if you have that ability, to move forward, right? To move forward. So I want to share another situation that has happened a few times now. And to be honest, it has changed the criteria of clients that I take on. Now, I'll start with that, actually. I am no longer, or I shouldn't say I'm no longer taking on clients with this criteria, but I'm coming at them with a lot more scrutiny and taking a much harder look at things. But I've become, I'm starting to realize that sometimes coming in to manage an account for a client that is like an owner of the business, who have personally manage their own account for years. These can be really problematic clients. And I'm going to share a story of when I got fired by one. But this is also a story about times I've had to fire other clients for the same reason. I'm going to do an episode on times that I had to fire clients another day. But this issue of managing accounts from business owners who have been managing their own account for a long time has just been problematic for me for a number of reasons. And the first is the old classic saying is old habits die hard. And when you're coming in to manage someone's account who's been managing it for a long time, they have hard-coded habits of how they measure performance, how they read data, and even when we come in and say that, their methods of management might be antiquated, which in most cases it is, it's much harder to explain how the way they read and interpret their data is antiquated. And this is usually the first pain point that I meet with clients like this is, and you notice it when things go wrong. Now, usually, when I take on a client like this, I come in, I change the account, performance usually goes way up, things are good. But then there's always those times of years when things aren't good. Accounts are not just always on the up and up. And what the client does in that situation for those accounts where the owner has been managing it themselves for so long, this is where the habits come to the surface, right? They go into the account and they'll read data that is wrong. The way that they read the data is just not factual to what is actually happening in the account. I won't get into the details of this situation that I'm sharing, what this happening, but it happens a lot. Now, this is where my learning comes in, where I got fired once by over explaining to the client why they were reading their data wrong. Now, no client really likes to be proven wrong in this case, especially when they're in a financial pinch that they're feeling. They're in a very vulnerable state. And I didn't follow my own advice, or I guess this advice came later, where I reacted a bit too quickly to their emails of all these screenshots and all this misinterpreted data, and I would reply with videos and stuff like that explaining, no, you're looking at this wrong, this is the real story. And even though I would really gently approach it, in their eyes, I was coming across as defensive. I was coming across as just trying to prove them wrong. Which, again, if the business is struggling in that point, is just an emotional, it was just a mistake on my part from the client's perception driven by their emotions of the situation. Where what I really should have done is just, like I've said in previous episodes, validated their concerns and stuck to the important parts of what's maybe changed or not. But it was tough in this situation because I had to show them, no, like, you're looking at this data wrong, and I would show them videos of like, okay, like, you're comparing these things anyways wrong. But it can just be really difficult. And in the end, I was more or less stuck between a rock and a hard place, because they wanted things done the way that they would have done them, because maybe in the past those things worked. But in today's environment, it might not, because the landscape is totally changed. So this is when it becomes you get to an immovable pass where they are more or less stuck in their version of the account that worked, and they'll often see like previous years with rose tinted glasses, and the way that I was managing it was getting such great results. Why aren't you getting the same results now? And sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And that's all that can be said. And in this situation, I made the mistake of leaning in a little too heavily in explaining why they were wrong, as opposed to just focusing on what we can do right now. And that was my big takeaway from that situation. So next I want to talk a little bit about the post-breakup sads. Every account, no matter how toxic it was, and I do have some accounts that were toxic that I either fired or fired me, and in every case, even if it's like a sigh of relief to let it go or to be let go from it, there's always this dreadful feeling that comes afterwards. And I think it comes from just when you pour so much time and investment into something, once it gets cut short, it's like this void of, it's almost like a dopamine crash filled by like another like thought void where you have no there's no closure, and it can be a number of things, but afterwards there is, for me, a period of sadness, failure, regret, imposter syndrome, all those things. And I end up kind of for a couple days just feeling in the dumps, and I can see how it can change the way that I look at my current accounts. And that's the important thing to catch. Okay, now it's one thing to say we learn from our mistakes and we learn from them, but there's another thing to start feeling that level of imposter syndrome where you start doubting yourself because it didn't work in another account. Not every business one can gel with you and your management style, but also sometimes they just can't work on Google Ads. Like, to be honest, businesses that, for example, have way too low profit margins, businesses that are way too leveraged on Google Ads, that when Google Ads performance drops, their business tanks, like situations like that, no matter how good of a manager you are, sometimes just don't work. Now, aside from the performance perspective, even just the personal relationship between you and a client, sometimes there's just not a mesh. And it's important to separate yourself from that sometimes and recognize that it's not necessarily a reflection on your ability to manage all of your accounts. And I just find that post account breakup, I personally feel there's this vulnerable state that I always need to catch myself on so I don't kind of like just get too down on it and then make impulsive reactions in other accounts. Yeah, it's just like a cool down period. So sometimes what I'll do is after a situation like this where I'm really feeling it, I'll take a couple days off, to be honest. I won't look at my computer as much because, like, to be honest, my first instinct after I get fired or I have to fire an account is, I really need to like double down and work even harder on all my accounts because I can't let that happen again. And you end up just getting into this bit of like a management manic phase. So I just find it's important to cool off, let the dust settle, go back to your routine where you can create like a super healthy work environment. For me, it's like drinking like really good tea while I work and listening to the right kind of music, and I'll kind of get into that zone again. But, having a few routines that kind of get you into that place helps for me. But I just find that like it's important to catch that, because I don't know about all of you, but I definitely feel that. And let me know in the comments if any of you feel that as well after a situation where you've been fired or had to fire a client, and let me know if that's resonating with you. That's it for today's episode. I just wanted to share a couple stories of when things weren't perfect, and a few things that I've learned from those situations. Let me know if this is something that resonates with you. Let me know what situations you've been in that didn't go to plan, but you learned from. I think as a community, it's important that we share these kinds of stories, as well as sharing our success stories. I'm like dopamine tapped out just reading about everyone's success on LinkedIn, for example. So I wanted to share a couple situations where, it didn't work out, and I hope that we can all maybe share some stories like that so we can all learn from them, right? We can all learn from each other's mistakes as we can from each other's success. So until next time, everybody, I'll talk to you soon.